beautiful day it is out here today. Do you know what I want to do? I want to take photos, more specifically, light trail photography. But in order to take these types of photos, we need to get familiar with the exposure triangle. In this triangle, there is aperture, shutter speed, and ISO. So let's start off with ISO. ISO is the sensitivity to light. The lower the ISO is, the less sensitive it is to light. The higher the ISO is, the more sensitive it is to light. To make it more easier to understand, the lower the ISO is, the image would be dark. And if the ISO is high, the image would be bright. ISO is one key thing to taking light trail photography. As we keep our camera towards the light for a long period of time, we want the ISO to be low so that the image doesn't become really bright and ruin the light trail. The next thing in the exposure triangle is shutter speed. Shutter speed is basically how long the shutter is open for. So if the shutter is open for a long time, and if there's light passing by, it will create the light trail for our photo, which is one really key thing to taking light trail photography. Now, what is aperture? Aperture is not needed for light trail photography, but it's still really cool. Aperture is the depth of field in a photo. So basically, if you want to make an image only focused on one thing and everything around it is blurry, then you want to make the aperture small. And if you want everything to be focused, then you would want to have a high aperture, make the aperture big. That is all we need to know on how to take light trail photography. Let's start taking photos. Here is some light trail photography my partner Vansh took. Oh wait, I can't take light trail photography in the morning. I have to wait till night.
A few moments later.
That's more like it. Now my partner Vansh will be teaching you how to take light trail photography. Alright, so now I'll be showing you how to take light trail photography with a camera. So I'm using a digital camera right now, as you can see. And this camera does let you take light trail photography. As you can see the S right there. Usually it's always on every single camera. If it shows S, that means shutter priority. So we're going to want to move it to there as we need the shutter to be long to take light trail photography. So then the A is aperture and the P is manual. So in shutter priority, we can set the shutter. So first I'm going to be showing you the ISO. So right now it's already set to 100, which is ideal for light trail photography. You can also set it to 80 if you want. So to change it, it really depends on your camera. And on mine, it's just spinning this dial around. So if I spin it, you can change the ISO. And as you can see, the higher, as I said before, the higher the ISO goes, the more brighter it gets. So that's why you want the ISO to be as low as possible, so that less light can come in. So I guess if we're taking it by a highway, 100 should be okay. 80 to 100, it doesn't really make a difference. I keep it at 100. So the next thing that you need to do is set the shutter priority. The shutter priority, not the priority, the shutter speed, sorry. So you set the shutter speed by, usually at the bottom, there's all of these. This is the shutter speed. So as you can see, it says 10. That means 10. It'll be open for 10 seconds. So almost on all cameras, you'll get this dial. Maybe it might be by the where you take the photo. But on my camera, it's over here. This little dial. And if you move that, you can see the numbers changing. So that pretty much means that if the lower it goes, then that's how long the shutter will go on for. So if it's 1 second, then the shutter will be open for 1 second. So since I took my photos by highway, I kept it for around 5 seconds, as there is always cars going around, so you will always get the light trail. And if you're doing it by an intersection, I recommend 10 seconds because sometimes the cars aren't moving, so you want the extra time. As you saw in the photos before, they were really blurry. So that's why I really recommend a tripod for this. But I guess if you have a really steady hand, it's not really needed. So I'll quickly show you for about like maybe five seconds. And I'll show you the difference between like 1 second and 5 seconds. So I'll quickly take a photo right now. See, so that was 5 seconds. The shutter was open for 5 seconds. See, now it says processing. So since I kept my hand really still, it just came out like a regular image. If I kept on shaking it, it would become a big mess. And now let me show you when it's at 1 second. Alright. Alright. Okay, 3, 2, 1. See, so it goes really fast. So those are the differences. You would definitely not want the shutter at 1 because the car won't go that fast. So keep it at 5. So let's basically how you take light trail photography. Those are the settings, and I will be showing you a mini demonstration on how to take light trail photographies with the flashlight. Alright, so now I will be doing a really quick demonstration on how to do light trails with the torch, and just to show you how easy it is once you get the settings done. So just with the click of a button, I'll be making a shape. In this case, it'll be a circle, and I'll show you the final results. And this is the image that came out. I'll be showing you a little bit of, it's really blurry. I'll be showing you a little bit of a better one